Hey, Will, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing a glass of wine, man.
Brother, you know we have a podcast to do.
I know, I'm trying to keep from spilling this wine. Hey friends, this is Will.
Hey everyone, this is Michael.
And welcome to We Know Texas Vino.
Cheers.
Welcome back, friends. This is Will.
Hey guys, this is Michael.
And welcome back to part two. I'm sorry. What was it again you said?
Part Deux.
Part two.
So a redo, part two of an amazing podcast we're doing here tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, well listen guys, welcome back to the program. We're fired up to share some more quality time with you guys. You know, we had a blast in our first couple of episodes, right? Well, we've had a great time. We have some new equipment we're showcasing. We're pumped to be here in Grapevine, Texas tonight for our next edition. And so we're just excited about that. It's going to be wonderful. So Will, we're here. Where can listeners find us?
Well, you can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino. And for listening to our podcast, you can find us on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher.
Right.
Yep.
And so we're having great feedback so far.
Yes.
Facebook, we're getting lots of people checking in. I haven't checked that lately. What's our total there on Facebook?
We're 180 the last time I checked.
Likes, but how many touches? I mean, we've reached out to 2,000
I haven't touched that.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
The last time we looked when we were doing Arcade, we had 1,700.
Yeah, well, we're excited because we've reached out now. We're getting up to almost a dozen podcasts recorded, so it's pretty cool.
And we're at 325 episodes downloaded as of right now.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, good. Well, let's move on real quick. We have a couple awesome ladies here we want to showcase and then have some fun with them. So you're here on our podcast, We Know Texas Vino. It's going very, very well, and we're here today in Grapevine, Texas at the Bingham. Is it Bingham Family Vineyards? Is that correct? Is that what I should be titling this? So we're here with Marissa and Jenn. Welcome back, girls. How are you?
Doing great. Great. Excited to be here.
Patiently as we're getting our stuff taken, our house warming stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we're drinking some wine all of a sudden. Will, what do you think of that wine we're drinking?
You know, I have to say,
yes.
Did our listeners hear that?
you're emptying the glass, yeah. So
slurping away.
Who wants to tell us what we're drinking here tonight?
So this is our 2019 Dirt Farmer, which is one of our red blends. It is one of our showcases that we do have. It is heavy Tempranillo blend. It does also have a Dolcetto, Mourvedre, a Graciano, and a Teroldego grape in there. Okay. So we'll talk about that a little later.
Yes, indeed. So I really enjoyed it. It was a great way. I walked in here tonight, and it's a little chilly, and I'm already warm. One drink. So I'm feeling good. That was pretty good, right?
That was quick.
Yeah. So Marissa, you are the owner. You're part of the ownership of this phenomenal facility and this great establishment. And tell me a little bit about where it came from. Tell me about your family. I know it's a family legacy. Tell me about some of the great things happening with your family, your vision, and all the wonderful things happening with this great vineyard and winery.
Yes. So we are a multi-generational farm family outside of Lubbock, Texas, in the High Plains of Texas, in Terry County. And that's where we have been farming for over 5 generations.
Wow.
So, cotton primarily, but we've done just about everything: peanuts, sesame, soybeans, guar, sunflower seeds, just crazy. And my father is all about conservation, sustainability, and exploration. And that is truly the path that has gotten us to grapes and wine. Because we actually are a great location up in the High Plains for growing grapes, and it actually helps conserve our water. And that is our greatest resource up in the High Plains, and that's what we're concerned about. But if you've never been to Lubbock, that's not where the people are.
I've never been to Lubbock, but you've probably been to Lubbock.
I've been to Lubbock.
Okay. Have you seen a Western before?
I've seen a Western. I've read all
like
about Lubbock. I've watched Lonesome Dove. I mean, I know all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm excited to visit.
That's what led us to bringing a tasting room to Grapevine, Texas.
Right.
7, almost 8 years ago now.
Wow.
And then Fredericksburg, which that location, we just moved 15 miles down the road to High, Texas. We are so excited about that.
Well, let's talk about that real quick, because that's when coming in here tonight, I knew that had happened. So what was the reason? Because Fredericksburg, I just bumped into a woman today who just spent the weekend in Fredericksburg, and she had such a great time. And I talked to her about all that. She likes beer, which is weird. But she had beer. I said, well,
it is a German town.
It is a German town. I was joking about that, of course. They have great brews there as well. But I was thinking about you guys, actually, and I know you just moved. So what was one that you were there? How long were you in Fredericksburg? And then why did you move out of that location? I'm sure there's some amazing reasons.
So we were in Fredericksburg for 3 years, and I really cannot talk about why. why we moved.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's my question.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be
Because
dropping
we
the ball.
needed to buy land
It's none of
and
your
build
business.
it for ourselves.
Vino, Texas Vino.
Yeah. We rented for a few years to kind of figure out if that's where we wanted to be. And then we were looking around and we found a great property in High, Texas, right smack in between Coleman Cellars and William and Chris Vineyards. So
perfect.
we love our new location.
Awesome.
We were able to buy and we were super excited.
Yeah, I've driven by there a couple times, so I know right where you guys are
Yeah.
located. That's very, very cool. And then just real quick to continue on, you have a third location opening up as well. Is that correct?
Yes, so Roanoke, Texas, we had like 3 meetings last week with architects and contractors, and supposedly maybe construction can start in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've learned that here in Texas, right, that you need the permits. And so you may have contractors, you may have architects, but until those permits are all approved,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
is on hold, right?
Must cross all dots and T's and dots I's and all that
I
jazz.
thought the last time we were here, y'all were like already rented a building and y'all wasn't building anything. Maybe I misunderstood that.
We have the bones, so we have the outside. We don't have the
okay.
innards.
Oh, okay.
We have half the floor,
The inside is concrete and dirt floors currently.
so it's very natural.
So you
I say it's
dance
very
floor
Western.
too?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so that you're pretty excited about that location, and that's going to start here pretty soon. So it's already February. I guess we're doing this podcast in February. But do you anticipate maybe March, April, May startup over there? Or what do you think?
2 to 5 business months.
I love that. So 2 to 5 business months.
And until we get a timeline, but we will be posting on our Facebook page. We'll be sending emails as soon as we get a timeline. We will make sure everyone
And
knows.
trust us.
Yes.
We want to open more than y'all want to come.
Okay.
Facts.
I don't know about that. I'm excited to get
So
over there.
many facts.
Yes.
Don't you get people still emailing you daily asking you when it's going to be open?
I've probably been asked today alone 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
person, not even emails.
Well, people are
Does that
excited
count
about
my
it.
asking?
No.
Okay.
So let's shift gears just real quick, Will, with your
yep.
permission. And so this other feisty little voice I hear over here, this is Jen. And so Jen has been chiming in appropriately. Of course, she's amazing and intelligent. 2 things, Jen. One, tell us about the big celebration coming up down the road here.
I'm
What's going
getting
on?
married.
So you're off the market?
I am off the
I had like
market.
14 guys totally really,
No, I got a good one. I'm gonna stick
good for
with
you.
it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So
That's
yeah,
exciting.
18 days.
Congratulations.
Officially getting married.
Oh, that's
so.
wonderful. What a great time of year.
Start drinking down.
Yep. I mean, I already am.
And does he enjoy wine?
Oh yes,
Okay.
actually, our very first photo interaction with each other.
Yes.
He was telling me that he was drinking wine at the
Okay.
time, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, he's probably drinking some Yellowtail or something
Oh.
like that. And he wasn't. He was actually drinking a Dolcetto. And I was like, oh, okay, do I propose?
You're
Does he
right.
propose? Like,
Right.
how does this work
Right.
out? But yeah, it was.
Old school caveman, just knock him on the head and drag him out, right?
I mean, I probably should have done that.
I mean, when you find a good man,
I mean,
right?
and he is. He is
come on.
absolutely amazing.
It just takes one little thing like that for you to know it's a good lifelong connection. Well, and then my second question is, you have a very important role here. As I've been able to get to know you a little bit, Will and I both. I mean, in
Yes.
your relation to this great family, but your role here is pretty important. What do you do specifically, and what's your future look like?
So I am the tasting room manager currently for Grapevine, and I will be for Roanoke as well. So I'm managing both locations. And then I think a big part of my role was kind of bringing in, some fun training and just getting everyone on the same page. I'm really big on having experiences with everybody.
Yeah.
One of my biggest joys is hearing when people come in going, "Oh, thank you so much for teaching me something new." So
I
I'm
feel good.
all about that.
Yeah, I feel so good when you do that. I know Will has a lot of experience in that as well. I guess I do too, and I'm sure we all have a lot of experience. But it feels really nice teaching like a rookie
Yes.
how to drink wine appropriately.
And I've had a lot of people just on our podcast, not changing gears or anything, tell me that they've learned something new every time they listen to our podcast.
Yes, that's amazing.
That was somebody getting drunk,
my
there,
God. So if our listeners hear a sneeze in the background, I dragged my wife here this evening, and she has shut down coliseums of professional speakers with that sort of sneeze. So it's very, very impressive from a little girl. So yes, thank you, Erica, for your contributions this evening. Appreciate it so much. So yes, let's move on though, because we're so excited to learn more about this winery. So here's my biggest question of the night probably is why is this winery and this wine tasting room and your organization, why is it unique? Why is it special? And why should people come see you?
That is so hard for me to answer because I was raised to be a humble
Yes,
Texan.
okay.
Okay, well then I won't. I'm also from Texas.
Yeah.
But honestly, what's really cool is that we are 100% estate Texas wine.
That is huge.
Which is huge in Texas. We're looking at over close to 900 wineries in Texas, and there is a handful of us that are 100% Texas
Correct me if
estate.
I'm wrong, Jen and Marissa both, but we've only met one other one since we've been doing this podcast that is also 100% estate. But we know the history of this family. We know you guys are awesome. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. So one of the unique points is that you're 100% your own grapes.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that? Do people appreciate that?
Oh yeah, I think, and also we do a lot of the organic practices as well. We're not certified organic on our wines,
Okay.
but our actual row crops and everything are organic, and being in the day and age that we are in, organic is huge.
Absolutely.
And, as Marissa said before, in the early 90s in West Texas, being organic meant you're a little bit of a hippie. But now everybody's really wanting to be organic, and they're really jumping on this train. And I think, the Binghams have really been a pioneer into that.
Yeah, and the Binghams have a huge batch of grapes. We've talked to already a couple of winemakers who use the grapes from your family, which is cool. Maybe you can comment on that real quick, because I still want to stay on this uniqueness. I personally think you have a unique situation here. Very impressed. But what are some other unique features, Marissa?
It is unique in Texas that we grow grapes for other wineries. So we sell grapes, we sell juice, very short window. That's an immediate just turn and burn, press, and then get the juice shipped right out. We also sell bulk wine and shiners, and that's typically just to help a winery when they have a small gap for various different reasons, and they just need a little help to get through to the next season. And then we have our own label. So we pretty much, that whole assembly line, I sell just about every product that a custom vineyard could sell.
That's super impressive. That to me is uniqueness, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, it is. It is amazing that y'all have a little bit of everything going on with y'all's winery. And I love that. And I'm not going to say every winery can say that, because some of them do, but at a smaller scale than what y'all do.
Yeah.
Diversifying has been a big thing that's helped our family for years, because you just never know what's going to happen with Mother Nature.
That's for sure.
We are not in control of the weather.
Especially in Texas.
There's a dial outside. If I didn't see that, there's a dial outside. I can change the weather.
Yeah. Same thing inside here too, right?
And Will, have you noticed from several people we've talked to that the one thing they all agree on is you can't control Mother Nature.
Yes.
It's the one thing you can't control. So just being more proactive and being creative, and certainly taking your hits when you take them, but thriving when it's time to thrive.
That's definitely one of the main things that everybody has said, they can't control Mother Nature. And if we could, then everybody would have perfect stuff.
Then we'd all have wineries and vineyards and everything else. Yes, that'd be good. Awesome. So tell us about, both of you can speak on this for sure, but we're drinking great wine this evening. What are some of the things you really take pride in? Some of the great vintages and varietals and some of the great wines maybe you won awards for. Maybe you can speak about that here in the next few minutes, because we want to showcase this for folks when they come in here. I heard that this was an amazing wine. Why don't you showcase some of those for us real quick, some of the great varietals?
I feel like almost every varietal has gotten an award. Almost every one of our labels have gotten an award. I do kind of...
That's the most broad answer in the history of the world.
Not humble at all. Everything.
Oh, mercy. Well, they pretty much all have.
Here, I'll make it easy for you. Pretend like that you're a child, and you got to pick a favorite one.
No.
Oh, you cannot pick a favorite child. It's whoever's currently behaving.
Yes.
Right.
That's your favorite.
There you go. All right, so
Yes.
we're behaving. Okay.
Yeah.
So we grow over 25 varieties. We are getting to the point where we realize some may not be as viable or sustainable, and we are actually adding some varieties. So we are not done learning in the vineyard. We are not done exploring. And then the wine is made in the vineyard. And so then my winemaking team, we still get to have a fun time exploring with different oak, explore with different types of cold soak, different fermentations, different yeast. But pretty much our goal is just be true to the grape.
That's cool.
And true to the terroir. And so our varieties may not have the typicity of some of the other regions, because we're trying to learn what is the typicity of Texas High Plains.
You just hurt Will's brain with that word.
So I want to take a book out of Roxanne here. Can you use the thesaurus and translate that?
Yeah, the thesaurus. Yeah, she's had a thesaurus all night. Yeah, well, that's really awesome. But obviously, you take great pride in that. And again, one of the other great common trends, common denominators with all these vineyards and wineries is that they have passion, right? Passion for what they're doing, but also creativity. So, how about you? You're the manager, the lead, the czar of the tasting rooms. What? Right?
I need a chair
You
and
do
crown
chair.
for this one.
I have a crown. I'll get to a crown here in a minute. But you are the queen of England when it comes to running the show over here, and I know Marissa relies on you heavily. So, what are some of your takeaways there? We have customers in here now, but what are they drinking? What are you proud of? What do you enjoy pouring?
Honestly, when I started here, and I started here in December of 2019, so right before a small pandemic.
Small.
It's just small.
Tiny.
Just a small
flesh
thing
wound.
that happened.
Flesh. I'm sorry.
I knew how to drink the wine. I didn't know about what good wine really was. And we make really good wine. And now you're able to point out at other places. And, what's the coolest thing is, you go through, there's 7 tasting rooms in Grapevine on Main Street. I can go to every single one of them and pick out a grape, and we all do the same grapes most of the time.
Yeah.
And we do a blind tasting, and you can taste different types of styles and winemaking techniques, and it's so cool because then you can go, hey, this place they do it bold. If you want it juicy and this, you need to go here. And that is one of my biggest prides that I can actually promote, especially with Grapevine. It's such a cool place, and
This is a wonderful location. Yeah, for anyone who enjoys any sort of wine tasting atmosphere, the community, this is a great place. And of course, this location is one of the prime locations, right? You have to drop by Bingham Family Vineyards, so that's really cool. Yeah. And so for years, Will, or for a couple years now, I've said that I liked one Texas wine just so much above everything else. But as we're visiting all these wineries, I'm just amazed, and I'm using a big word here for Will, flabbergasted at how amazing, how many
source translation.
how many other great wines, and these are wonderful wines here. So I want to compliment your entire organization for what they've done here. It's pretty awesome.
And that's one of the things I'm learning also about Texas wine. You can take 2 grapes, 2 different vineyards, and be 2 totally different flavors. And it just, for my new love now is Syrah. Okay. You can take Grayson.
Yeah.
Grayson, yeah.
RK.
Yeah.
You think that. And I didn't like Chardonnay. You can think him again also. I kind of like a little bit of Chardonnay.
You
now.
do realize he is an anomaly in Texas.
He has magic going on there.
He's doing well.
Well, if he's got magic, he got some really good voodoo.
We need to share that voodoo with the rest of Texas, right?
Not to get off topic, but Grayson is Will's little boyfriend, so it's pretty cool. Well, because you like him so much, it's pretty cool. You can't edit that.
Because we take
Shout out for Grayson and RK.
Yeah, shout out for Grayson. I love you too, Grayson. You and your whole family are amazing. So
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes. Well, he brought it up in several podcasts, so there we go.
But his Syrah that we've drank there.
Yes.
First time I drank Syrah, I'm like, ooh, I want this someday my babies. My babies. That's my babies. So, but it was so good. I mean, it was.
It is beautiful. It is amazing. But his region, the Texome region, is possibly one of the only regions in Texas that can grow Syrah. Syrah cannot be grown on the high plains.
Yeah, I mean, but we've had it a couple other places, and I love them. But his is like, wow.
Yeah.
And Will, you girls have to understand that Will had not had a lot of Syrah before, and I'm a Syrah nutcase. I love Syrahs, and so he had a few, and now suddenly he's hooked, and I love it.
It might have been. Whenever you find that grape, you just stick on that grape for a while, and you sit on that for. I get it. Don't worry. But I think what's cool is that you not only that RK, and then you have a lot of other places that are out there. But Texas is doing such amazing stuff right now, and the fact that we've been doing it for a short amount of time is insane.
Jen, I have a real simple rule in my life: do not steal my thunder. All right?
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
I mean, you don't want to hurt my ego.
I'm just gonna sip on this real quick.
Usually that's his line.
One of my. Should we just tackle that right now? Should we just tackle it right? So both of you ladies, it's one of my best questions, or was, and that is, you ladies are right in the middle. You have your hand on the pulse of what's happening in Texas, right? So I think the last time I actually spoke to you two, I kind of asked this question, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I think Texas is doing doing right now, and I'm really proud of it. What do you see in the next 10 years in terms of the competition? Texas, California, Washington, Oregon, some of these other. We learned recently that Texas and Virginia are tied for fifth in the country. In terms of, I think, production and growing and that sort of thing. But I'll start with Jen, because you basically stole it. What do you see happening here in the next few years with Texas wines?
I think we're going to be playing around with a lot more different types of varietals that, not the normal, as everybody knows, and getting more, especially Texans or even outside of Texas, you'll have more people that actually experimenting with new varietals. And when we're able to do that, that's when we start seeing that growth. And I mean, we've seen the growth even when we were closed in COVID. We were going from 450 wineries to 900 wineries.
That's crazy.
While we were closed.
Yeah.
So there's only increase and there's only upward mobility. And I think it's going to be an amazing ride.
So give me, just cast your vision real quick. So you think next 10 years, 15, 20, 25 years, something, we can actually literally, I call it a tipping point, or almost like this critical mass where we're going to hit it. We're going to do something spectacular nationally. Do you see, what's your timeline for that?
2 to 5 business months. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I feel like it all comes down to, weather's going to be a big thing. If we have a good weather, we just need a couple good years, and I think that's going to happen. And then I think just, the labeling changes, we're going to be able to have a lot more of the 100% Texas coming out. We'll start seeing more fun stuff coming.
That's awesome. Well, Marissa, so now it's your turn, and this is a tough one because I'm going to put one additional spin on it. We talked to an amazing lady named Roxanne at Lost Oak, and she was saying, yes, and there's no doubt we're heading in the right direction. But she was talking about subsidies and help from the state of Texas and some other things. Your family is deeply ingrained in this amazing, almost like a gold rush, in my opinion. So what do you see as the future, and are there some other obstacles you have to overcome in order for it to become a national treasure of the wine industry?
I think you have to define what you're saying is going to be the national exposure, because there are some wineries who are going to put a focus on distribution and being distributed nationally. That is not necessarily my family's goal.
Okay.
Our goal is actually to open more tasting rooms around the state, because that enables us to help people learn and grow and explore.
That's cool.
I really see, first of all, Texas has already been doing amazing, incredible things. I think that just the recognition, the realization, and it's not like, I don't consider us like babies anymore. I feel like we've already achieved some incredible things. Somebody asked on the Texas Wine Lover Facebook page this kind of random question, and I commented with like 5 paragraphs.
Nice response.
5 sentences.
Remind me not to ask you directions.
No, you do not ask in Bingham directions.
We are an established state. We're not like about to become one.
Yes.
We are already established. We've already achieved so much stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing what Texas has done in the last couple of years. I mean, just the explosion of the wineries and just people enjoying wine. When I just started drinking wine myself, I didn't realize how many wineries were in the state of Texas until I decided to start doing this podcast. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't realize that was this many. I thought there was maybe 300 or 400. I didn't realize there was 900.
Well, as Jen alluded to, though, it's really increased in the last couple of years. And I think we talked to another gentleman as well who said, yes, in the last 5 years, it has twofold, right? It's incredible.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, with all these, this explosion of wineries in the state, and then, by the way, thank you for that great answer from both of you. What are some of the things that are going to prevent wineries from being sustainable? Tasting rooms. What are some of the obstacles you're seeing in the future? Or do you see any? I mean, you're pretty optimistic.
I think you have to be an optimistic person if you're in agriculture. Mm-hmm. You have to always be looking to the next year. I don't know. I think it's the same obstacles we've dealt with. Oftentimes it's people, and people.
So those 3 things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, good, bad, ugly. So can you elaborate on that, though? So people like you're talking about workers and decisions.
Right, having staff, employees, and then the customers. The biggest hurdle is we need Texans to drink more Texas wine.
Yeah, okay.
We need Texans who've never drank Texas wine before to come drink it for the first time.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, and I think it's pretty awesome because I think Texans are starting to appreciate that a lot more as well, right? So, yeah. And should we do the segue real quick? Should we do segue into our sponsor, our collaboration?
Yes, since you brought it up, let's talk about our new sponsor. So we here at We Know Texas Vino has been getting traction. We've only been out for not even 30 days now. We're actually 30 days.
1 month.
And we've been 1 month now. And we want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, which is Texas Wine Lover app.
Yeah.
If you have not heard of it, go out and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Jen, I know you said something about it a while ago.
Oh yeah, no, I downloaded it. I'm already looking at it. And
you looking at it?
I'm having some fun for sure.
I was blown away when I downloaded the app. I've actually personally known Jeff Cope for many years.
Yeah.
And I've loved his blog, I've loved his website, everything he's done, but I was truly blown away with the app. Other people have tried to create, a Texas wine trail app. This one is just head and shoulders above every other app that's been created.
1000% agree.
So if you had to say one thing you love about the app, what is it you like? That you've met, and you don't have to dug through it.
I think I've already created 10 trips.
Nice. There you go. Wow. So she's loved 10 things about it.
Yeah, so that's 10 things she loves about it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to plan trips, and they're already working on how to add restaurants, because some of these way out wineries that you go to, you need help. You need to know where to stay for the night and where to get food. And I literally, it blows me away. And they're not even done.
Yeah.
They're still working on that.
They're still working on it. And it is such a great app. I got toying around with it. And probably one of the biggest things that I did love about it was the fact that you can go there and plan a trip on there and maximize your drinking time on there. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little story.
That's what he loves about it.
I did this manually, okay? Back when the North Texas Wine Association did the 50 for 50. And I literally went in there and I took all the wineries, put it in a spreadsheet, put the addresses, the locations, the time and dates they were open, and then I made an API that went in there and circled everything around so I can maximize our drinking.
That's awesome.
Now I don't have to work that hard now.
Yeah.
I can actually drink within the next 5 minutes after setting it up.
Yeah.
Well, my personal best part of it is just the leadership. The leadership's amazing. We spoke with Amy the other day. She was amazing. We have this collaboration happening right now. So we're excited because we think that amazing collaboration is going to be good things for us. It's not so selfish. And then in addition to that, we're hoping that they also will benefit greatly from kind of the exposure in the podcast. And so we have this really, I guess, an equal excitement level from all sides.
So now, again, for all those people who don't know it, it's called Texas Wine Lover. You can find it on your, what's that other phone, not Android?
Apple.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Apple.
You haven't even had a full glass yet.
You can find that on your iTunes App Store and Android Play Store.
Right. So go search it out, check it out, and have some fun with it.
Yes,
right?
download it.
So that was segue. So
Yes.
let's talk to these girls real quick. So talk to me, Marissa, about the final vision. I mean, you guys are doing great things with expansion. Your family's doing extremely well. Everything I'm hearing about what you have done the last decade, you and your family, is amazing. Your wines are outstanding and exceptional. What is the vision? What's the future?
I think the vision is to continue to learn and explore Texas wine and to share that with Texans.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier. That's so cool. It's you're almost like a saint, because it's not about finances, which will happen, because that
I don't know that I would.
But it's to share and to uplift and to add value, and just like Roxanne, who we talked to a couple weeks ago, to add value to the Texas community and to help them thrive in the drinking wines. And of course, your wines are awesome. So.
Yes. So, with all that being said, do you have a patron here that we can talk to for just a moment that would like to be on microphone? And
welcome. What's your name?
What's your name?
My name's Nia.
Nia.
Hello,
my name's
Nia.
Michael, and this is Will.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
And this is a podcast called We Know Texas Vino. We are international. We've reached over, I think, 3 or 4 countries.
Yep.
We're just smoking right now. And
Cool.
we're going to bring you on here. We want to talk to you as being an amazing patron. Have you been here before?
I have. This is like my favorite winery in all of Grapevine.
There you go. And tell me why real quick.
Well, I think me and my friend were actually just talking about that. I think it's just like the memories we have now from coming for like the last 3 years.
Okay.
But it's just super small. It's quiet.
Yeah.
But it's always relaxing and welcoming when you come in, and we've made friends.
So I say the staff, you're friends with staff. They give you hugs and
Yes,
smiles and everything
yes.
like that. So that's pretty cool. So not only is it a great, fun, friendly, memorable environment, but the wines are good. You enjoy wines?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite is
Oh, there you
the
go.
2019 Malvasia Bianca or the 2019 Short Rose.
Oh, so she's specific.
We didn't have to lead her into that.
No.
She just automatically did it.
She has her own podcast. How to teach podcasters how to ask questions. And so, yeah, that's a great podcast you have.
I actually do have my own podcast.
Okay, well, shout out. Okay, that's
Give it a shout out.
Give
My
it
my podcast is called The Help Podcast by Nia Imani. It's
Okay.
only for Apple users, though.
Apple users. Okay. Well,
Awesome.
congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of luck with your endeavors, and we're proud of you. But thanks for joining us
Yes,
today.
thank
And
you.
thanks
No
for,
problem.
Got a
Thanks for
shout out
having me.
to Bingham Winery, right? It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
awesome,
it's
isn't it?
beautiful. It's the best.
Yahoo! Thank you. That was fun. Appreciate you. Yeah. So okay, well, let's wrap it up here, Will, buddy, and
So,
got lots of good things
Do we
going on.
bring some staff now online over here? And does the staff want to come say hi?
Well, I don't know. They look
Because
like
we
they're
want
pretty
to-
busy.
We're busy.
They are busy?
We've got the best staff right here next to
Yeah.
us. So. Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So Jen is the hunter of the family here. She is hunting
Apparently
staff members.
It didn't work very well.
I got you. Awesome.
All right, well, I guess we will have no staff this time around.
Okay, so no staff this time around, but that's one of our things we want to continue.
Yes.
We want to have like a staff, we have a patron, we have ownership, we have winemakers, we have management, we have, of course, the amazing wines that we get to drink. We've been very blessed. That is one of the great things about doing a podcast is you get to drink wine while you do it, right?
So, Jen, you just poured me that. Is it the same thing?
It's the same thing,
Same
yes,
thing.
same
oh, okay.
thing.
Why did it taste different?
Part two.
Do we already go through 2 bottles
We gotta
already?
keep the 2, part 2.
Holy crap.
Well, these two girls
Michael,
here, they drink.
You need to quit drinking so much.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right, well, let's we're gonna head on to the second segment here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that, right?
Yeah,
Will?
yeah, we sure are. So you can catch us on Apple iTunes and Spotify at We Know Texas Vino.
Right.
Find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino. And we're here at Bingham Winery with Marissa and with Jen.
Right. And they were wonderful. Girls, thank you for your
Yes.
patience. I know we had some technological issues early on, but it's working out nice now. So thank you again for your amazing diligence and patience. So that's awesome. But we'll be back for part 2 here in a minute, Will, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's have a lot of fun.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers.
Well, hi, listeners. Welcome back to We Know Texas Vino. This is your host, Michael. Hey, we are so excited to share this next segment, the educational edition of our podcast. If you have any ideas or topics that you would like to learn about, or you want to hear from a wine enthusiast, please reach out to us, and especially on We Know Texas Vino on Facebook. Listen, folks, grab a glass and let's saddle in for this next segment. Cheers. Well, welcome back, everyone. We're so excited to be here with you two awesome girls, with Marissa and Jen, and we're back for our cool final edition, right? Our educational,
Not final edition.
our final edition of this podcast. Final part of this.
Final
Yes.
part.
And thank you for your.
See,
look
you
at
scared Marissa that we were ending.
Yes. So, Will, you have this is like a big time educational topic today.
Yes.
It's big time. There's
This-
no comedy behind it. There's no nothing. It's straight up facts. Is that correct?
Are you sure there's no comedy in it? And I'm looking at Marissa at this.
Well, Will, what is your topic this evening?
So, Marissa, why do we swirl our wines? And does it go left or right? Does it matter? And
It
you
does
need-
not matter.
It does not matter.
Does not matter. Do not let anybody wine swirl shame you if you're left-handed, like I am. Jen's a little more eloquent.
That was so authoritative.
I mean, I'm a
I have
both
many
sides.
roles.
I do both sides.
I almost swirled my microphone.
Omni swirler.
Can you swirl it both directions at the
Yes,
same
you
time?
Oh, look at me.
You're right there. So why are you swirling? Why do people swirl wines? Is it necessary?
If you want to really experience the wine, the best way actually is to swirl.
Yeah.
You want to open up the aromas that are coming in. You want to get all of that yummy smells and all of the right taste. All the wine has been in the bottle for at least 6 months, if not longer. And so you really want to open it up and just let it be free in the glass itself. And, there is a step process into actually tasting. And, you have your smelling, your looking, and swirling is a big part of it. And that is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting watching people how could I say this politically correct?
Correct. Well, please.
Some people who try to act like they know what they're doing, and I feel bad for them. Please, people, when I say this, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but they do it and they swirl it like vigorously. Like I'm like, dude, you're fixing to spill
We just
your
lost
wine.
all of West Texas.
The goal is to keep the wine in the glass.
Yes.
Yes. First goal.
They will vigorously do it to the point where it almost looks like it's about to pour out of the glass. And I'm like, you don't have to do it like that. Just do it just a little bit. And again, listeners, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's just seriously, you don't have to get psycho with your swirling.
Yeah, just like even with savoring and tasting your wine,
Yes.
you don't have to get, it's not mouthwash, right? You want to definitely get some oxygen on it. But I tell folks all the time that you're not pretentious doing it, right, Jen? You're actually bringing out the
Yes.
flavors
Yeah.
and the age. And I've all of my whole life I've argued, especially when I was 2 years old, that the wine is a living thing, and it's sort of to awaken it and to do all those sort of things to really create the ambitious flavors that you have to swirl.
I know. I need to go back to your 2 years old.
Okay, well,
Were
that's
you
an
swirling the
exaggeration.
milk?
No,
Or okay,
you don't know
okay,
my family.
okay.
You should know my family.
Okay, noted. Okay.
Yes, okay.
Were you swirling the communion cup?
No, I've maybe done that a few times as well, but that's how you do it.
That's grape juice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, you
it
pretend.
is.
We
Should I
pretend
swirl
here
that too?
It's that Jesus
Yes.
juice.
Well, some of us denominations, Jesus already turned it into wine.
Well,
Was it cab or was it a Tempranillo?
Mostly it's Dirt Farmer actually at her church. So we do get a little bit of
What church
dugout
do you go to? I need
sometimes.
to go to that one.
Well, the Presbyterians are like the Lutherans and the Catholic. We like
They got the
wine.
real stuff.
Lutherans and the Catholics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
My
Very
wife went to a
interesting.
Jesuit school, and they just drank wine all the time while we were out there teaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one of the things I noticed when y'all swirl on the table. Mm-hmm. Are y'all doing that because y'all afraid to spill your wine or knock the glass over?
Well, Grace is not my middle name.
Another sister.
And the funny thing is, her middle name is not necessarily because it's graceful. It's because when we are screaming, Brianna Grace Bingham, it's to remind us to give her grace.
I give grace.
okay.
Marissa's middle name is Motor Skills.
I mean, actually, that's a pretty tame joke. I was
Okay.
afraid you were going to go somewhere else.
No.
Wow.
I met a woman one time who could not walk backwards. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So if you can't swirl wine without using the table, I forgive you. But coincidentally, I always use the table, and I have taught people to let the glass do the work. You're not out there trying to swirl and get things, a tornado in your glass. You want to let the glass do the work.
Well, I mean, the listeners can't
Physics.
see what I'm doing here, but
they cannot see.
I like to put it up at eye level.
Yeah.
And I like to watch it and see the colors as it goes around.
Right.
I like to watch the legs.
I learned that on Sesame Street once as well.
But you do know that to get the truest color, you need to have a white
White
background.
napkin.
Well, unfortunately, my hand is not that white.
Mine is. Here, I got you.
Mine is more iron for you. So
Sunlight. What are you talking
sunlight. We're in Texas. Well, cool. So, any last comments on the swirling aspect of anything else you want to add to that? Last time I saw you, actually, we were joking with you because you're a lefty. That I think people were saying you have to go to the southern hemisphere.
Can
in order to make
you
this
tell
work.
us a story about the left-handed swirling?
Remember that
Oh,
story?
I feel like I already told it.
You did.
I mean, they didn't hear it
the
last
first
time.
episode
Oh.
that we had to
This
pull.
is part
unfortunately.
2.
Yeah.
So I was actually in a college class, and we were on a field trip at a winery, and I got swirl shamed by another classmate. And because I'm such a people pleaser, for a split second, I literally was like, oh no. And then because, I'm a little, facetious, I went back and researched it and then brought it back to the professor so that she actually mentioned it to the whole class in front of all the
Is
classes.
that facetious? I think that's just a little bit.
I love that word.
We're just using a lot of SAT words today
So
to
is
make
this-
sure we're also helping the education
I think it's called spite.
the rest.
I know.
So here's the thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm the fourth of 11. So at one point I was the baby of the family, then I was the middle child, and then now I'm really kind of one of the oldest. So I confuse myself.
I was going to thought you was going to say you're the intelligent one now.
No.
The wise one.
I
Maybe
am not
wise.
the intelligent one.
She
There
is the intelligent one. She's lying.
No, there's another brother. No. So don't try to figure me out because I confuse myself.
Well, I read a book by Brene Brown about women, and I decided never to try to figure out the female species.
That is a smart,
Yep.
smart thing
So-
because we are still figuring out ourselves.
Well, and we certainly can't figure
Yes.
you out. So.
I'm not going to try.
So, so girls, we appreciate you. Jen, any last comments before we rock and roll today?
No, this has been always fun, and I appreciate you guys.
We love coming out here.
Anything that y'all bring up is awesome.
Yeah. And Marissa, any final thoughts? So, outside of wanting to beat up that professor.
Professor.
The other students.
The student.
No. The professor was Maureen Quaglia, who
Which
is
is
of
awesome.
the original wine family in Texas,
Facts.
the Quaglia family.
Okay.
She is the enology professor at Texas Tech. She is
Very nice.
amazing, and if you're looking at an enology program in Texas, you should look at Texas
All right,
Tech.
there you go.
Whoop,
Texas
whoop.
Tech.
Suns
Texas
up,
Tech.
guns up.
Awesome. Well, Will, real quick review where you can find us.
Well, before we review ourselves, we need to review Bingham.
That's true. We
So,
should do
Jen,
that.
Marissa,
I always
tell
scoop
our
that up.
listeners where they can find y'all at online. I had to define that a little bit more for Roxanne because she was about to give her telephone number out.
Oh no, we don't.
No. No. You can find us at bingham.wine. That is our website address.
Do you have any other social media outlets that you
We
utilize?
We have Facebook, we have Instagram, Bingham Family Vineyards.
Would it be tough
if you just
not
look
to
up
find
that?
you, right?
If you put Bingham
Yeah.
Family anything,
Okay.
you'll find us.
Yeah.
That or Ryan Bingham, but we're not related to them.
Oh. All right. So, Will, buddy, let's wrap it up.
Well-
where can we find?
Hey, hang on.
Oh,
I'm
sheesh.
looking up this Bingham.wine thing because, I mean, being an IT guy, I've never seen it before. I'm just kind of curious about it, but dang, it did pull up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Jen lie to you?
Well, I mean, being an IT guy, your standard extensions are .com, .net, and stuff like that. And when
Engineering
she
mind.
said wine, I'm like,
Dot wine. That's
So-
that's a little extra on that bad boy.
Yeah,
I got to get us a new domain name.
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
Vino.wine.
Hey,
Exactly.
I like it.
No, I said that wrong. We know Texas
Yeah,
Vino
make sure you get it
dot
right.
wine.
Thanks for the plug
Yeah.
on our podcast.
Well, we are just a .com family, so where can we find us?
So right now you can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino. You can find us on iTunes podcast and Spotify at We Know Texas Vino. And then pretty soon is texasvino.com.
Nice. And that's in the works, right, brother?
That is in the works.
Very
Oh,
good.
so then it's going to be texasvino.wine.
Eventually,
We
we'll
know
get you there.
TexasVino.wine.
Our listeners can't see it, but my man just got
Yeah,
blown.
yeah. Well, I always finish with a quote of the week, and it's going to be
Yes.
the same quote I used last time I saw these girls, but I would do it regardless. A meal without wine is called breakfast. How beautiful is that? Of course, I've known Will for a while now.
Yes.
That may not even be true, correct?
Yes,
No.
it is 100% true.
Awesome. Okay, guys, another
Not for
day.
me.
Not for Marissa. Another day, another glass of wine. Cheers from Bingham Family Vineyards. We're super excited to have you here at Grapevine, Texas.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies.
Thank you.